Hi, I'm Neville Marten.
I'm Richard Barrett.
Welcome to another Guitarist Tone Lounge. Today we're looking at a couple of PJD guitars. This is a Carey model, that's a Carey model. This is the standard.
This is the Elite.
They're lovely guitars. They're hand-built up in York in England. My standard is blown over in a lovely colour of surf green. It's nitrocellulose, open pore finish. There's no intent to kind of make it all flat. This is lovely, it's deliberate, and it's really tasty. It's a solid American ash body, roasted maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard.
Absolutely, and mine is the same basic construction, but being the Elite, this has got a bound top, and as you can see, there's a flamed maple top, which commands something of a premium, obviously, hence the Elite. Slightly different pickup configuration as well. I've got the bare knuckle boot camp. They're the old guard pickups, so they're sort of, I don't know about vintage hot, but they're not low wind.
No. And I've got the old guard. I've got a P90 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge, and they're very sweet sounding pickups. They're very, as you say, that they're not hot, but they have a vintagey character to them.
Yes.
We've been playing them through these orange amps here. They're very big about being British as well. So we're playing through British-made orange amps. And they can sound very ballsy if you want them to be, can't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think especially these days, I'm sure you'd agree, most people would agree that getting enough gain happening is not generally a problem, is it? You don't need a super powerful pickup for that.
No, not at all. Okay, Rich, we've talked about sounds. Give us a couple of blasts of something on there.
Great. The amp's slightly out of shot because I can't sit on top of it or we'll get hum. But I'm plugged into the dirty channel of this orange and I'm going with bridge pickup to start. So that kind of pickup, that kind of wind is quite responsive to the volume control changes, isn't it? I think. So go to the next?
Yeah, do. Yeah.
I suppose it should go for both.
Go on then.
What I do actually like on a personal level here is having the one master volume, so that you can just do that. And because I find that on a twin pickup guitar like this, if I want to do my favourite thing and mess around with the volume control I'm playing, then I can't really do two.
That's really nice. And Lee Dovey, who's the main man behind the design and the build of the guitars, he's very hot on not having complex switching systems. We mentioned that very strongly, didn't we?
Yeah, I think simple, high quality is the thing, and being able to sort of manipulate the guitar to get various sounds. I mean, I think he was saying that you can play metal on this, and some people are doing that, but I'm sure that you could coax all kinds of sounds out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
And I think that you can also, the nice thing about dealing with a builder of this size is you can ask for something like if you want a treble bleed or something like that, then they'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'm very happy, and I'd work with this as it is. And I think when you turn it down, that's the tone of this guitar.
Right, fair enough.
But other people are very specific in what they need, and if you need something for a certain kind of style of music or certain songs you play where you need, when you turn it down, it retains the treble.
Is that, mind you, I mean, listening to this, it's not like there's a deficiency in any way. I mean,
I won't play a great deal, but as you can hear, my bridge pickup is the same as the one on Richard's guitar.
There's something nice about, so what are we looking at? Fender scale length,
Yeah.
ash body. you know, and a kind of proportion and pickup layout that's sort of familiar.
Yeah.
And the sound that we're getting the clarity.
Very, very much. But if I go to the neck pickup, which is the P90, there's that sweeter sound,
with
isn't
clarity.
there? Yeah, with clarity. And I'm quite loud, so if I turn that down,
That responded really well to the
yeah,
volume
it
change,
really
didn't
will.
it?
In between, I always like that mix of a P90 and a humbucker in the middle. Very sweet, very sweet indeed. We've mentioned how much we like the sound of these pickups, so and how they sound nice, clean as well as dirty. So we've switched to the clean channel of our orange amps, and I've gone to the neck pickup, and we're just going to play some simple, nice, picky, chordy stuff, and a bit of simple lead, just to give you an idea of what they actually sound like clean. Anyway, getting back to these guitars, the roasted maple neck, that's an interesting thing, roasted maple. It's also spoken of as torrefied. It's a heat treatment that gives it 50, 60, 80, however many years of age. So it basically stabilizes it, and it makes it much better for traveling from country to country where you're going to different humidities and temperatures and everything.
Are they quarter sawn? We were looking earlier.
I'm not actually sure whether they are or not. Yeah, I think they are.
So that would be another sort of in that direction. That makes them more stable as well. So that's a great thing, because I'm fed up of having to carry a truss key around. Yeah,
it's really nice. I know Guthrie Govan has a big thing on a torrefied or a roasted maple necks because of the stability and carrying a guitar around in a bag rather than in a flight case in the hole, because he wants to travel light. But the great thing about it is I love, and we both love, are the frets. But just before that, the scale length.
Oh, 25.5.
Yeah. So that's a great scale length on a guitar like this. You know, I like that slightly longer feel, because with humbuckers it does make them sound a little more open, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, and I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that there could be a benefit in the low end as well.
Yeah,
but
they tend not to mush up so much.
Right. I mean, I noticed that hitting power chords on a guitar with a longer scale length, I tend to get a truer sustain, whereas on the shorter scale length it can be very troublesome trying not to get that kind of sort of beating thing.
Although Angus didn't really seem to suffer too much from Hoosie anyway. Yeah. Exactly. But the frets, tell us about the frets. They're quite interesting, aren't they?
Yes, in fact a lot of effort has gone into this. They are beautifully rounded at the end. It's called hot dogged. I didn't know that. but they do look a little bit like hot dogs if you look at them up close, in that they've got that sort of cylindrical end to them, which makes them really comfortable.
Yeah.
They called it the fretboard, the user interface of the guitar. I guess that's a good way of looking
It's
at
absolutely right. I mean, if those are the things you deal with all day long. You play a guitar. You actually, when you're playing it, you don't think is it made of ash? Is it made of mahogany? You think, how does my left hand feel on the neck? How does my right hand feel on the guitar? And can I work everything?
Absolutely. So I mean, you've got that, and the fretboard's a compound radius as well, though not dramatically so. It's what is it, 10-inch down here, transitioning to 12-inch radius at the top.
And all, I mean, the actions are pretty low on these guitars. I mean, they're dead right for me. Richard said he'd slightly raise it a bit, didn't you?
I get a bit heavy-handed though, especially when I'm stood near a drummer.
Well, there is that. Yeah, I do pick lightly. I mean, I've been told many times that even if I've got high gain, my guitar tends to sound clean because I'm not driving it as much. Many times I've been told that, but I like a low action.
Finesse.
No, it's not finesse. It's not finesse at all. But the great thing about, when you have got a quite low action like this, just making that radius that little bit larger, so the fingerboard's a little bit flatter at the end, really is great for string bends. So if you
Yes. Let me have a little go at something
no choking
extreme
off
here. I was trying to do the kind of Steve Lukather thing. Yeah. It's very comfortable up there.
And you'll hear from that, they are brilliant for vibrato. I don't know, they're Jescar frets, which is a make that people really love. And they seem to be quite tall. They're quite narrow, but quite tall. And that makes for great intonation, because you've got a big wide flat fret that's kind of flattened off too much. It's a bit iffy where it actually touches, so your tuning can be dodgy. But on a narrow fret like this, but you make it tall, you get the fretting accuracy, but you get the vibrato and the bending.
You can dig
really
in underneath,
great.
Without. Not that you'd know by the way I was playing them, but yes.
No. It's really incredible. I mean, normal six-a-side tuners that you'd expect that we've seen on guitars since the early 50s. Mine is chamfered top and bottom, although it's quite sharp. They haven't gone overboard with rounding the chamfer off too much. In fact, talking of that, whereas mine doesn't have any relief here, yours is dressed back a bit, isn't it?
Yes, it is dressed back a bit, so you've got great access, and that's something also reminds me that we haven't spoken about. These are bolt-on necks, and they have a brass thread insert in the neck itself, rather than the sort of more traditional wood screws that go in, and you'll see that these are pretty heavy duty bolts as well.
Yeah, they are. I like the fingerboard inlays as well. They're a kind of hollowed out rectangle.
Oh, the inlays, yes. It's subtle, but classy. All the little details have been thought through. It's quality hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing they don't make, I believe.
Yeah, they're very big into, as I said before, the whole British thing. Obviously, the woods aren't British because we don't really grow in enough quantities these kinds of woods. But the pickups, bare knuckle, made in Cornwall, west side of the southwest of the country. The guitars are made in York, northeast side of the country, and they can't get UK made hardware yet.
No, absolutely. Though bringing it back to the wood, I was quite interested to hear that they're very keen on using sustainable woods. So I'll be interested. I'm going to be watching what happens with that. I like the idea that you've got this group of people that are working on making these by hand.
Yeah.
It's not one guy in a shed.
No,
is it?
no.
But they're at a period in their development where you're able to speak to them and make custom orders, influence, specify whatever little bits and pieces you might want.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that they did say that I thought was really interesting, though, was that they were looking at doing some limited runs.
Yeah.
If they managed to get hold of a really good
Yeah.
lump of some sort of
Yeah.
rare tone wood, then they'll do a limited
I know.
run.
I mean, I know of a couple of guitar builders who've got kind of scouts out, and if, say, a walnut has fallen in such and such a forest or such and such a park, they get first dibs on that thing, or first dibs of a slice of it, and that's really cool as well.
Yeah,
yeah, really nice. The other thing that was quite interesting is they said that every year they'll do a range of colours for that year. They'll do the basic set of colours that they normally do, but will add some colours for that particular year, which I think is a really nice thing.
Yeah,
some of the
I
car
like that too.
manufacturers are doing that now. When they release a car, it comes with this year's new colour, and that's the launch colour.
Yeah.
So I like that. I'll tell you another thing I love on this, because I normally get really annoyed about the mismatch of certain things. You see, there's a P90 and there's a humbucker, but the colours are wrong. This is great. You know, that matches that. They've done the pickups around here in the same faux tortoiseshell as the guard, and that's a really neat, thoughtful thing. It ties the design of the guitar together, and they've gone for it round the back as well.
Oh yes, yeah, I noticed that I've got that matching the top.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Yeah.
As we were saying earlier, we really like the way that these bare knuckle old guards have a moderate sort of vintage output that's enough to drive an amp, and it's not so stupidly powerful that you can't control the dynamic. So I'm going to attempt to demonstrate that now.
Okay.
So you may have noticed that we had a third guitar in the background, and this is its moment to be in the foreground. The Elite F, and you can see why it's called that. So it's chambered, semi-hollow, and that does bring a different flavour to a guitar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's really hard to quantify it, and it's very easy to kind of come up with these, oh yes, a semi sounds like that and a solid, but very often you can get as many sounds from one as you can the other. Often what you do get with a different type of construction is that little extra thing that the other one won't give you.
Yes, yeah. And on immediately plugging this in, the same settings, the same amp, I mean, it's the same hardware, it's the same bare knuckle old guard pickups in there, and just bringing up the volume on the bridge pickup, which is set quite low.
Yeah.
It's got quite a roar.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, guitars inherently are going to have variation, aren't they? Of
course.
Consecutive serial numbers could sound completely different. This sounds very bold to me.
It does.
There's a thickness as well as the clarity.
There is, but from here, there's a little bit, because I often think on some of the other, say the big body thin line guitars that we know, they've often seemed to have a little bit more top end.
Right.
And possibly even a little more bottom, but it's also possibly because they sound a little bit more scooped. There's generally, in a big fat solid body guitar with an arch maple top, they sound huge because they're full of middle.
That's mid screaming at you, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're made of middle. They are middle, and so you take that physical middle out. You also kind of take some of the sonic middle out as well.
Right.
So that sounded to me a little bit more crisp in the top than these two have sounded.
Certainly, as I bring the volume down, I feel that I'm hearing more of each end of the scale and less of the mid, which I like for the detail. It's not more trebly in that basic sense. It's a different thing. I mean, this is coming from the guitar, not from the amp anyway. But there is more detail.
That one will also do something a bit different. Well, they all will to a degree, but you'd probably be more inclined to do this on that kind of guitar.
Didn't know what chord to go for. I was just looking at you holding a G, and then I thought major 7. It has to be major 7.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's still set quite dirty. Okay.
It's that Larry thing, isn't it?
Yeah. That's not set filthy or anything like that.
It's not filthy. But there's something lovely about a slightly driving jazz tone, isn't there?
I'm going lo-fi. I was going to say I'm going hi-fi. But and that's with the tone up as well. So I mean, I could mix and match a little bit and really get that. I didn't warm up before we started filming.
From here, I mean, I don't know if you'll agree from there, but from here, the neck pickup on the Elite F, which you have there, sounds a little bit more toward my P90.
Yes,
It's not quite as throaty. That there's a kind of
you can dig in. I mean, they never get too sharp though, do they?
No, they don't. That's a really lovely sounding. That is the all-purpose guitar, isn't it? Really, of the three. All of these guitars are matte, by the way, as well. They do come gloss as well. We just happen to have all matte ones, and I love that matte cherry, see-through cherry on a flame maple top. That's a really nice looking guitar.
And it's coordinated on the back again, so it's kind of nice because no one really sees that. So.
No, but it's a touch, isn't it? Somebody's bothered to think these things through,
and cares enough
and I love it. They're very, very cool guitars indeed.
I mean, one thing that I should perhaps mention that's a nice detail to know about these is, it's all done in the UK, and they do use machines to cut out the rough shapes, but they're completely hand finished, so you'll get that natural variation, and each thing will be fitted to each instrument. So you get the precision and consistency. And I was talking to Lee earlier about the thing that's become a real thing for me over the last few years, and that is the placement of where the bridge pickup is along the string, because you can hear. You can really shape the voice of a guitar with where that is. And he sort of confirmed to me, he was nice enough to sort of get into it with me and confirm to me that, he did quite a lot of, used a few reference guitars and chose that positioning really carefully. And I think things like that are really something that I like knowing about this, and plugging in and playing it is the sort of proof.
Yeah, I mean, that all kinds of things affect that. If you had a 24 fret guitar, it means your neck pickup is further down.
That, I've really noticed
the bridge.
That too,
Yeah, and some people love that. Some people can't stand it. So, I mean, What do you reckon? What in summary? I mean, I think they're great value for money. You know, £1,800, 18.99 for this, handmade in the UK with top quality parts.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
top quality parts. I mean, I'd happily take it on stage and do a gig with it now.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
If it was going to
Yeah.
be my personal guitar, I might raise the action a little because I'm heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I'll do that on every guitar.
Yeah.
And I might flip the 2 wires that it would take to make that 50s wired. That's
Yeah.
it.
Which one would you take home if you had the choice?
This one, I think. I don't have a guitar with the semi-hollow thing, or at least not of the quality that I could take out and gig.
Yeah.
And I played that and instantly felt like, oh yeah, this is...
I was going to say, is it because you played it and you suddenly thought, oh,
That's exactly...
yeah, yeah. If you were to ask me, I'd be absolutely happy as Larry with this because I love the look of it.
Yeah.
I have two humbucker guitars, so I don't need another 2 humbucker guitar. I don't have any guitars, shockingly, with P90 pickups on. So this would be absolutely amazing for me. But I do love the look of that, and I love the sounds that you just got out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's inherent in the guitar. I think I could probably plug it into a few different things.
Yeah.
And it has a balanced...
Yeah.
You know what a great guitar is like. You plug it in and it's just really easy to the point where I've had guitars that weren't quite there and I've tried different value pots, different pickups, different things. And it sort of improves it a bit. But this is already there.
So in a nutshell, great. I mean, great British-made guitars, 2 great British-made amps with great British-made pickups. What's not to like?